Welcome back, trainers, to PokePlayLab_DBSHQ. Today, we're unleashing the fury of the most powerful Charizard Ex Master Deck of 2025. Ready to dominate your opponents? We've got you covered with the perfect card combos, game-changing strategies, and everything you need to build the ultimate deck. Quick shout-out, if you have a YouTube channel of your own, drop me a comment below. I'd love to check it out, subscribe, and support your content. Let's grow together. Be sure to visit the community tab for our latest image poll and stay updated on upcoming events, tournaments, raffles, and giveaways through the announcements playlist. Whether you're a seasoned Pokémon TCG pro or just starting out, this deck will take your gameplay to the next level. So grab your cards and let's get started building the ultimate Charizard EX Master Deck. Alright, trainers, let's dive right in. We're starting with 4 copies of Charmander. Be sure to use the one with 78 HP, as shown here. Its first attack, Blazing Destruction, costs just 1 fire energy and lets you discard a stadium card in play, yours or your opponent's. Pretty handy. Its second attack, Steady Fire Breathing, costs 2 fire energy and deals 30 damage. As a fire-type Pokémon, it's weak to water, but for a basic Pokémon, Charmander is solid. Plus, it only has a 1 energy retreat cost, making it easy to swap out when needed. Next up, we've got Charmeleon with 100 HP. I'm running just 1 copy of him in this deck. For 1 fire energy, his first attack, Combustion, deals 20 damage. His second attack, Fire Blast, costs 3 fire energy. Does a solid 90 damage, but requires you to discard 1 energy. That's okay though, because our Charizard EX only needs 2 fire energy to attack. Charmeleon is also a fire type, so watch out for water type weaknesses. His retreat cost is 2 energy, which isn't too bad. Finally, let's talk about the star of the deck, Charizard EX with an impressive 330 HP. I'm running 3 copies of him. This card is a powerhouse with an ability and a single attack. Ability, Infernal Rain. When you play Charizard EX from your hand to evolve one of your Pokémon during your turn, you can search your deck for up to 3 basic fire energy cards and attach them to your Pokémon in any way you like. Then shuffle your deck. This ability is game-changing. It's perfect for setting up your bench or supercharging Charizard itself. Attack, Burning Darkness. For just 2 fire energy, this attack does 180 damage, plus an additional 30 damage for each prize card your opponent has taken. Early on, you'll hit for 180, but as the game progresses, you could be dishing out 210, 240, 270, 300, or even 330 damage. Keep in mind, this Charizard EX is a Dark-type Pokémon, which means its weakness shifts to Grass types. Alright, trainers, next up is the Dreepy Evolution line, a Dragon-type powerhouse in this deck. Starting with Dreepy, it has 70 HP, and I'm running 3 copies. This Pokémon has 2 attacks. Petty Grudge. For just 1 psychic energy, it deals 10 damage. Bite. This attack costs 2 energy, 1 fire and 1 psychic, and deals 40 damage. Dreepy has no weakness and a retreat cost of just 1 energy, making it a reliable and low-cost option for the early game. Next we have Drakloak, the Stage 1 evolution, with 90 HP. This Dragon-type Pokémon offers both an ability and an attack. Ability, Recon Directive. Once during your turn, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Choose one to add to your hand and place the other at the bottom of your deck. This is an excellent tool for improving your draw consistency and finding the cards you need. Attack, Dragon Headbutt for 2 energy, 1 fire and 1 psychic, it deals 70 damage. Drakloak also has no weakness and a retreat cost of 1 energy, which keeps it flexible during battles. Finally, we have Dragapult EX with a massive 320 HP. This Dragon-type Pokémon is a game-changer with its 2 powerful attacks. Jet Headbutt. This attack costs only 1 colorless energy and deals 70 damage, making it versatile and easy to power up. Phantom Dive for 2 energy, 1 fire and 1 psychic. It deals 200 damage and allows you to place 6 damage counters on your opponent's benched Pokémon in any way you like. This is incredible for taking out key benched threats while dealing heavy damage to the active Pokémon. Dragapult X also has no weakness and a retreat cost of 1 energy, making it efficient and hard to counter. This evolution line is perfect for building pressure throughout the match, combining strong abilities, consistent attacks, and strategic versatility. Make sure to use Phantom Dive wisely to spread damage across your opponent's bench and gain the upper hand. Alright, trainers, Let's dive into the Pidgey evolution line, a key support setup for this deck. Starting with Pidgey. It has 60 HP. I run 2 copies and is a normal type Pokemon with a weakness to lightning types. Its single attack, Gust, costs just 1 colorless energy and deals 20 damage. It's simple but effective for a basic Pokemon. Pidgey also has a retreat cost of 1 energy, keeping it easy to reposition. Next we have Pidgeotto, the Stage 1 evolution, with 90 HP. It's also a normal type Pokemon and shares the weakness to lightning types. Pidgeotto's attack, Wind Attack, costs 2 colorless energy and deals 40 damage. Like Pidgey, it has a retreat cost of 1 energy, which keeps it flexible. Now for the MVP of this line, Charizard X, a game-changing card with 280 HP. This normal type Pokemon brings both incredible utility and versatility to the deck. Ability, Quick Search. Once during your turn, you can search your deck for any card you need. Add it to your hand and then shuffle your deck. Keep in mind, you can only use 1 Quick Search ability per turn, so make it count. Whether Charizard EX is on the bench or in the active spot, always prioritize using this ability first. It's your ticket to finding the exact card you need to stay ahead. Attack, Blustery Wind. For 2 colorless energy, it deals 120 damage. While you'll primarily want Charizard EX on your bench for its ability, it's good to know it can hit hard if you need it to. One of the best things about Charizard EX is its 0 retreat cost. That means if it's in your active spot, you can easily switch it out without any energy loss. This flexibility is invaluable for maintaining control over your strategy. This evolution line is all about support and consistency, with Charizard EX being the ultimate card for ensuring you can find the resources you need. Whether it's drawing key cards or retreating at the perfect moment, this line will keep your deck running smoothly. Alright trainers, let's break down some of the key utility Pokemon in this deck, starting with Rotom V. Rotom V has 190 HP and is a lightning type Pokemon. It comes with 1 ability and 1 attack, but we're mainly using it for its ability. Ability, Instant Charge. Once during your turn, you may draw 3 cards, but your turn ends after using this ability. This makes Rotom V a great option early in the game when you need to draw cards and set up your board. Pro tip, make sure you complete all your other actions, like attaching energy or playing trainer cards, before activating this ability since it will end your turn. As for its attack, Scrap Shaw, it costs 2 lightning energy, which we don't run in this deck, so it's not usable here. The attack lets you move any number of Pokemon tool cards from your discard pile to the Lost Zone, dealing 40 damage for each card moved this way. Again, we're only using Rotom V for its ability. Rotom V is weak to fighting types and has a retreat cost of 1 colorless energy. Next, we have Fezandipiti EX, a dark-type Pokemon with 210 GP. This card is all about its ability, but it also has a useful attack. Ability, Flip the Script. Once during your turn, if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you can draw 3 cards. This ability can be activated even if you just placed Fezandipiti EX on the bench during the same turn. Quick clarification, if anyone questions how you're using this ability, remind them that the card doesn't need to be in play during your opponent's turn to work. The only condition is that one of your Pokemon was knocked out during the last turn. I've had situations where opponents called a judge and the ruling was always the same. This ability is valid as long as the condition is met. Attack, Cruel Arrow. For 3 colorless energy, it deals 100 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, including their benched Pokemon. This is a decent attack if Fezandipiti EX ends up in the active spot, but like Rotom V, you'll primarily keep this card on the bench for its ability. Fezandipiti EX is weak to fighting types and has a retreat cost of 1 colorless energy. Our last Pokemon in this deck is Mimikyu, a Psychic-type Pokemon with 70 GP. Mimikyu has an ability and 1 attack, both of which are useful for stalling and supporting your setup. Ability, Safeguard. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX or Pokemon V. This is fantastic for stalling, especially early game when most of your opponent's Pokemon are likely EX or V cards. Attack, Ghost Eye. For 1 Psychic energy and 1 colorless energy, it places 7 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. This allows you to keep applying pressure while setting up your bench. Mimikyu is an excellent stalling option, and its ability often forces opponents to waste resources dealing with it. I used to run 2 copies of Mimikyu, but I cut it down to 1 to make room for additional trainer cards. That wraps up these utility Pokemon. Each of them plays a specific role in supporting your strategy, from drawing cards to stalling and maintaining control. Alright trainers, let's dive into the item cards in this deck and how they'll help you set up for success. First up, we have Buddy Buddy Poffin. This card lets you search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokémon with 70 GP or less and put them onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. I run 2 copies of this card because it's perfect for setting up your bench with key Pokémon like Pidgey, Charmander, Dreepy, or even Mimikyu. It's a fantastic way to ensure you're ready for the mid-game. Next we have Nestball. This card allows you to search your deck for any basic Pokémon and put it directly onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. I also run 2 copies of Nestball. It's versatile and works for grabbing important cards like Fezandipiti EX, Rotom V, Pidgey, Charmander, Dreepy, or Mimikyu. Pro tip: always think about what you need most in your current situation, whether it's setting up an attacker or supporting your bench. Now let's talk about Rare Candy. I run 3 copies of this card because it's crucial for speeding up your evolution line. Rare Candy lets you choose one of your basic Pokémon in play, evolve it directly into a Stage 2 Pokémon, skipping the Stage 1 as long as you have the Stage 2 card in your hand. You can't use Rare Candy on your first turn or on a Pokémon that was just put into play that turn, but it's a game changer when you're in a pinch. For example, you can skip right from Charmander to Charizard X, Pidgey to Pidgeot X, or Dreepy to Dragapult X. If you need a strong presence on the field immediately, Rare Candy is the way to go. Alright trainers, let's continue with our item cards, starting with Super Rod. I run 2 copies of this card because it's incredibly useful for recovering key resources. When you use Super Rod, you can shuffle up to 3 cards, any combination of Pokémon and basic energy cards, from your discard pile back into your deck. For example, if you're running low on energy cards, grab 3 and shuffle them back. If your opponent takes out 2 of your Pidgey, use Super Rod to bring them back into your deck. You can even mix it up, like 1 Pokémon and 2 energy cards. Just strong against decks that rely on Rare Candy, like Charizard EX decks, or similar strategies. For example, if your opponent evolved a Charmander directly into Charizard EX with Rare Candy, this card will send their Charizard EX back to their hand, leaving them with just a Charmander. However, if they evolved naturally, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard EX, this attack will only set them back to Charmeleon. The key is to use this card at the right moment to disrupt their board and gain an advantage. Next up, we have Forest Sealstone. I run 1 copy of this item tool card and it's exclusively for use with Pokémon V, in this case, Rotom V. When attached, your Pokémon V can use its V-Star Power Star Alchemy. This ability lets you search your deck for any card and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. This is a one-time use, but it's a game changer. Use it strategically to grab a card that could turn the tide of the game in your favor, whether it's an energy, a crucial Pokémon, or a trainer card. Alright trainers, let's dive into the next item cards for this deck. First up, we have Earthen Vessel. I run 1 copy of this card and here's how it works. You can only play this card if you discard another card from your hand. Once activated, search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, and add them to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. This card is super useful when you need energy cards, especially Psychic Energy. since we only run 2 copies in the deck. But don't worry, thanks to Super Rod, we can recycle any energy back into the deck when needed. So, even with limited psychic energy, we can make it work. Next, we have Pokegear 3.0. I run 1 copy of this card, and it's fantastic for finding supporter cards when you need them. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You can reveal a supporter card you find there and add it to your hand. Then, shuffle the rest back into your deck. This is a great card for improving consistency, especially in moments when you're searching for a crucial supporter to turn the game in your favor. Both of these item cards are versatile tools that help keep your strategy running smoothly. These item cards are the backbone of the deck's strategy. Each one has a specific purpose, so knowing when and how to use them can make all the difference. Alright trainers, let's move on to the supporter cards in this deck. First up, we have Arven, and I run 4 copies of this crucial card. Here's what it does. Search your deck for an item card and a Pokémon tool card, reveal them, and add them to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Arven is essential for setting up your strategy. You can use it to grab key items like Rare Candy to evolve your Pokémon, Earthen Vessel to get energy, or Buddy Buddy Poffin to pull out low HP basic Pokémon like Pidgey, Charmander, or Dreepy. As for tool cards, you can fetch Technical Machine, devolution to de-evolve your opponent's Pokémon and disrupt their strategy. Technical Machine, evolution to help evolve your Pokémon quickly. Forest Sealstone to give Rotom V access to its powerful Star Alchemy ability, letting you search for any card in your deck. Timing is everything with Arven, so always think about what you need most when you play it. Next, we have Boss's Orders, and I run 3 copies of this card. This card allows you to switch one of your opponent's benched Pokémon into the active spot. Boss's Orders is key once your bench is set up and Charizard EX is in the active spot. With Pidgeot X's quick search ability, you can consistently grab Boss's Orders to target specific threats or weak Pokémon on your opponent's bench. This strategy lets Charizard X swoop in and one-shot critical targets, putting you in control of the game. Make sure to pick your targets wisely when using Boss's Orders. It can make all the difference in turning the tide of battle. Alright trainers, let's dive into the next set of supporter cards in this deck. First up, we have Iono, and I run 1 copy of this card. Here's what it does. Each player shuffles their hand and places it at the bottom of their deck. Then they draw cards equal to their remaining prize cards. This card can be incredibly strategic. Early game, it's great for disrupting your opponent's hand and giving them a fresh start while potentially helping you draw into what you need. But where Iono really shines is late game. For example, if your opponent has taken 4 prize cards, they'll only draw 2 cards after playing Iono. This can severely disrupt their momentum. Just remember, it affects both players, so make sure you're okay with changing your hand too before playing it. Next is Xerosic's Machinations, and I run 1 copy of this card. This forces your opponent to discard cards from their hand until they only have 3 cards left. Timing is everything with this card. Play it when your opponent has a full hand of 6 or more cards to maximize its impact. Watching them struggle to decide which cards to keep is satisfying, but make sure to play this when it can really hurt their strategy. Our next supporter is Cyrano, and I run 3 copies of this amazing card. Search your deck for up to 3 Pokémon EX, reveal them, and put them into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. This card is a game changer. With Cyrano, you can grab Charizard X, Pidgeot EX, and Dragapult X all at once, setting yourself up for major plays. Combine this with Rare Candy to evolve your basic Pokémon directly into powerful Stage 2 Pokémon and get the party started. These combos are key to dominating the game. Finally, let's wrap up with the energy cards. I run 9 Fire Energy and 2 Psychic Energy to balance the deck. And that's it for my Charizard Ex Master Deck Profile 2025. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more awesome Pokémon content. Let me know in the comments how you tweak this deck or your favorite card combos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Don't forget to subscribe!